G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Hajduk Split Build a Nation with Croatia, episode number 14, the continuation of the series. After our amazingly successful episode number 12 of winning the Champions League, we are continuing going. A quick little recap from episode 13 is that we almost reached the Champions League final again. Our coefficiency points are absolutely outstanding. And we're just steamrolling at the moment. We are absolutely... Nobody can catch us in the league. Although, if you would look at this, Aussie Jack aren't too far up behind us. But we've had an unbeaten start to the league again. But the one thing I did want to check before I go any further is our competition reputation. Has it been adjusted in the slightest? Well, according to this, no. We are still 9th on 3.5 star. And I'm a little bit perplexed on how I'm going to get that reputation higher without the other teams winning European competitions. Because if we go and have a quick look at, say, Dinamo Zagreb, let's go and have a look at their schedule for the senior squad. They're in the Europa League at the moment, but if we have a look at the Europa League and look at the past winners, no Croatian team is getting close. It's all the English teams. Obviously, Spurs have won it a couple of times. Even Arsenal have been in the final against Spurs and got beaten. Sorry. Villa, United. Nobody's getting close. Obviously, we lost in the final years and years and years ago, but that's the Europa League. We don't care about that. Obviously, we want the other Croatian teams to win that to boost the reputation of the league, but that's out of my hands. The coefficiency side of things, though, is a lot more interesting, and we are getting very, very, very close, in fact. As you can see, we are now 6th. We have ousted the Dutch league from their position. And at the moment, actually, if you have a look at it, we are on track to oust the French league at the end of this season. Maybe even the German league. We'll see. We'll see what actually happens. But before we do that, let's do the usual thing and have a look at the transfer history. Quick look at the finances. We are mega rich now. Previous episode, we were just at, what, 107 million, I think it was. This episode now, we're 184 million in the bank, and I've still got 90 million in the transfer budget. But there has been quite a bit of movement here and there. So if I go back a little bit, nobody came in before the tick over, but a few players did leave before the save point. Perso left on loan in the January window, but the big one, actually, is Besnik Fagerberg. He has gone back to Saudi Arabia. And as much as I am losing money on him, literally half the price, just over half the price, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine because we have the money to back it up in the bank. Not the most frugal of deals, I will admit, but it is what it is. What I will say is, if you think that is a bad deal, then you do have to leave a like on the video. Oh well. Going forward, we did sell another £57 million worth of players. We lost, unfortunately, we have lost Carrasco. No. I alluded to previous episode. I couldn't hold on to him any longer. He wanted to move on. Saudi came in. They put in a bid of 22.5 million, which, for some reason, the player that he was, and he produced so much for the club, I couldn't get his valuation up, and I don't know why. That's the highest I could get for him. And he's hit the ground running as well, 5-5 for Al Hilal. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Simone Scotta has only been with us for 1 season, but 20 million profit kind of makes up for the Fagerberg deal, seeing as we got him for a free. Rooney Bardghji has gone to Al Weda. He's gone for 10 million. Sasa Vujica has gone there as well for 5.5 million, and Shedler and Pulis have both gone out cheap deals as well. But I did bring in a few players at least. Dahashi Nagasawa from Yokohama is going to be Durdov's backup on the right wing. I was looking for right wingers, I was looking for cheap backup wingers, and there wasn't actually that many options, but I did like the fact that he's got decent first touch, decent technique, and decent flair, with reasonable physicals, and he can grow into it a little bit. Plus, he likes the big games as well, so yeah, it's a bit of a risk, but for 2.5 million, it's not that much of a risk, really. Even Levicic from Juventus is a Croatian striker who's going to be Pjevic backup. Jesus, some of these names, I do apologise. But he has got really good aggression, bravery, leadership, acceleration and pace, so he's quick and he can finish. I think he's going to be a really good backup for him. And for the fact that I only got him for 8 million, and he's Croatian as well, I'm happy with that. And then finally, Alessandro Borelli is coming in. He can play on both wings. Very young player, highly rated. Let's see what we can get out of him first. He could be Carrasco's replacement, but at the moment I've got enough in my squad that I can alleviate that for a season, at least, I hope. Fingers crossed. But yeah, a couple of star players leaving is probably not the best, but it is what it is. And now this is what the team looks like. Obviously, I'm putting Pjevic back in. I want him to get as much game time as possible. Let's have a look at the best 11. Turi goes out on the wing now. Obviously, Durdov, Romero, Drost, Adamo, Arden, Vizcasil, Bentancur, Mikic, and Rodriguez. Still pretty much the same team as last season, minus Carrasco, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Clear that team selection. If we have a look at the schedule as well, we have been utterly immense, to be fair. And you'll only notice that there is one friendly there. And I need to go back on this. I don't know why there's only one friendly, but we started the season quite early for some odd reason. I have no idea why. But it's not hampered us in the slightest. It's kind of like we use the league games as our friendlies for some reason, and we are hammering in goals, getting clean sheets, and they say we're top of the league at the moment. So there we are. We have to roll the highlights reel. I'm going to do that right now. Let's go and find out how we do for this season. Do we get another Champions League? Do we get to the semi-finals again? Or do we do worse? Do we win the league and go unbeaten again? Let's go and find out, shall we? Such is the price of success. When we fall, it really hurts. In the league, it's as you were. No unbeaten season again, but we did dominate with 5-0 wins over Rudesh and Lokomotiva, and a 4-0 win over Slaven Belepo. Annoyingly, it was Istra who cost us the unbeaten season, losing 1-0 away, but again, it was another league title win. In the Croatian Cup, however, it was a complete and utter shock. Beating Zagorac 6-1 in the first round, we were knocked out in the second round by Slaven Belepo in extra time 4-3.
Game over, man! It's game over!
And in the Champions League, it started well. Winning 5 in 8, including a 2-0 over PSG and a 6-1 battering of Frankfurt, meaning we actually qualified in the top 8. But sadly, we couldn't go any further than the round of 16. After losing 2-0 in the first leg to Spurs, we were level in the second leg until John Jorgensen broke Hajduk hearts in the 88th minute to knock us out of the Champions League and no run to the final this season. Well, I don't know whether the game had a bit of a blip or not, but it's been a bit of an annoying season to say the least. It's not been that successful. Yeah, okay, we've won the league again. We are absolutely dominant, only losing 1 game and drawing 11. But overall, if we have a look at the competitions wise, oh, here's a little thing. We're in the Club World Championship as well, which starts in 13 days. So next season, or next episode, episode 15, I'll show you some of that or what happened there. But knocked out in the round of 16 by Spurs. Bloody Spurs. And then getting knocked out in the second round of the Croatian Cup to Slaven Belepo. Now, I don't know whether the players have got a little bit arrogant, thinking they could just stroll into some games. Maybe so. There may be a couple of players here that may need to get moved on so I can freshen up the squad a little bit more. And maybe it's just become a little bit too stagnant. I don't know. But let's have a look at the goals before I go over the competitions. 25 and 15 in 45 starts for Pjevic, which is brilliant. He is wanted. No Dortmund, you cannot have him. He is unhappy. He wants a new deal. That's good. He can stay. He can stay. And I did say I was going to go over his development. So let's have a quick look at his training. Nope. Progress. That's what I want to see. And I want to see the attributes. I want to see all time and attacking roles for that. Ooh, look at that progression since he's been at the club. 2s, 3s and 4s. There's even a 6 on his balance and a 6 on his strength. I'm going to try and keep this kid for as long as I possibly can. I know eventually he is going to move on to one of the bigger European clubs, but I'm going to try and keep hold of him for as long as I possibly can. What a striker this guy is going to be. Durdov with 24 and 8. I mean, Durdov has just been so consistent. So consistent. An absolute lifer at Hajduk Split, but nearly 20 goals again in the league this season. 12 and 13 from Adamo, 7 and 11 from Richard Turi. It's all beautiful stuff. Really, really is. Let's say competitions wise, we'll have a look at the league. Absolutely trounced it yet again, only losing 1 game to Istra. Alright, okay. But also, I'm going to have a look at the European competitions to see how the likes of Dinamo and Osijek and everybody got on as well. So I'll have a look at the Champions League, then I'll have the Europa League and the Conference League as well. Because the competition reputation is important, we need the other Croatian clubs to spend wisely and do well in Europe to boost that reputation. And it doesn't seem to be happening. We seem to have plateaued on that side of things. On the coefficiency side of things, though, let's have a look. Oh, we're almost top 4. Oh my word. We are almost top 4. Admittedly, in coefficiency standings, we're still quite a way behind Italy, but we are not far off Germany. At the end of season 15, I would expect us to be in the top 4. That's incredible. That really is. Wow. I mean, financially wise, we're sitting pretty. We really are. They're like sort of nearly 200 million in the bank. I've got 90 million in the transfer budget for next season, which is a staggering amount of money. But I do think there could be a little bit of freshening up of the squad. There could be a few players going. I'm a little bit disappointed with some of them this season and how they've played, especially like sort of looking at some of the average ratings. Xander Drost, I think, is one that could get moved on. Not too happy with that. Richard Turi is another one who could end up going. I may give one of the youngsters a bit more of a chance. There also a couple of my centre backs and my full backs. Mikic, I think, the right back is definitely going to be one spot that I'm going to have to look at. And also, if we have a look at Rodriguez, his progression is good. He's turned into a really good goalkeeper, but maybe there might be a better option out there. I don't know. It's not going to be Simeonov. I know that. It's not going to be Simeonov. I just don't think he's got the potential in him, unfortunately. But there we have it, folks. That's episode number 14 done and dusted. We are almost there. Almost there in the coefficiency side of things. Competition reputation, I don't know how we're going to do that yet. But you'll have to join me for the next episode to find out what actually happens. Please don't forget to leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Do all those good things and help boost this. I'm almost at 400 subscribers. I really want to get to 500 by the time we get to September. End of the school summer holidays here in the UK. That's what I'm targeting. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ta-ra.